super exciting. I am actually going to do a little walkthrough of a real payday routine and what that looks like for me, along with showcasing my budget template that I've created and that I have for sale on Etsy. I've been using this template for, I would say probably like 2 years now, and it's honestly changed my life. It's made my budgeting so much simpler, and I actually look forward to having to pay my bills. You always look forward to receiving a paycheck, but I actually look forward to distributing my money in the right places and stuff like that. So I want to walk you guys through that. So get yourselves a cup of coffee or a tea or matcha, whatever, and let's get started on a real payday routine. There's a few things that I want to do before I actually get into paying my bills and making all of my transfers and stuff like that. And that's actually add another goal here. So in my 2024 financial goals, I have to make 12 additional mortgage payments, save $2,000 towards a car emergency account. And I also want to add, save $3,000 towards Christmas, birthday gifts. This is something that last year I kind of realized was maybe I wasn't handling it the best. I always have money set aside for like emergencies and stuff like that, but I don't have specific accounts or a specific account dedicated to Christmas and birthday gifts. So come Christmas last year, yes, I had money to be able to pay off all of like the Christmas gifts that I put on my credit card, but I had to kind of go and take little bits and pieces out of different accounts. But I want to have one specific sinking fund this year specifically for that. So that's a financial goal that I am adding, and I've already added here a separate sinking fund for Christmas gifts. So I'm contributing, I'm gonna round this up to $70. It was basically to reach my goal by November 1st, it was $69, but I'm just gonna do 70, it's a better number. I'm gonna switch that over here. And then I also want to go and update these columns here. So I have all of my expenses listed in the first column. So I have like my mortgage, insurance, phones, electric bill, all that kind of stuff. But I want to write down what account I'm moving this money into, what type of payment it is, and the type of expense. I'm also going to remove coffee from my budget because I no longer really work in the office. Getting coffee was something that, you know, it was kind of nice to go with coworkers in the middle of the day or something like that. Or honestly, it wasn't just coffee, it was like takeout, like easy, like Friday night meals after leaving the office and stuff like that, where you don't really feel like cooking. But I don't really work from the office anymore, so I really don't need to be spending that money. And I realized that I'm not spending that money. Like working from home, I don't really order takeout all that much anymore. So I'm just going to remove that. And as you'll see, that actually changed my total leftover money to $482 instead of $382. So that's a win-win as well. Okay, so I'm going to go update this, and I'll probably do kind of like a hyperlapse, quick little video through this so you guys don't have to sit through everything one by one. So as you can see, I've filled out these last 3 columns, and that just kind of helps me be able to have a visual of where my money's going and what I need to do with it each week. So to explain, this column E for the account type is what type of account your money is going into. So my mortgage and my insurance is being taken from our joint account. So the account that our paychecks get deposited into, the payments for those are coming out automatically from the joint account, and they are a fixed expense. They never change. I mean, my mortgage, we just re-signed for another 5 years, so that's just going to be a fixed expense for 5 years. I'll take, for example, another one here, gas. We actually pay for gas with our credit card all the time. and the payment method for me in my mind is considered credit card. So I take $115.38 because I've estimated that I spend approximately $500 in gas every month. So I take $115.38 weekly every time that we get paid, and I put it into an account that I've named credit card, so that when we get the statement for a credit card, then I automatically have $115.38 to be able to pay the credit card, so that I'm not like looking for that money. So that's really like how I function. And this is a variable expense. I really only have two variable expenses, gas and groceries, because it depends. Are we going more into the office? Are we going to visit family or friends somewhere? You know, groceries. Do we have like an upcoming party that we're hosting at the house where we have to spend more or spend less? So those are the really only two variable expenses. Everything else is basically fixed. So not sure if that was like super clear for people, but I'll just kind of like repeat a little bit how the breakdown works for the budget. So let's say you estimate that you're spending $500 a month on gas. You actually want to break that down to the lowest level, which is weekly. So every week, whether you're paid weekly or bi-weekly, what you want to do is take that amount and transfer it into an account so that that money is already allocated there, ready to be able to pay either your credit card or manually pay a bill that you receive in the mail. You want to make sure your money is always there, ready to go in that account. You never want to be looking for your money. So every payday, you have to pay your sinking fund accounts as well as your savings accounts before you do anything else with your money. Whatever is left over at the end, you can do what you want with, but at least you know that the allocated necessary amounts are there ready to go. That's what I found works best for me. And what's actually nice about this spreadsheet is that there's a little formula that you can use. So I have this like in the instructions of the spreadsheet, but if you have if you have a monthly expense, then what you actually want to do is take that amount times 12, so times 12 months, and divide it by 52 afterwards to break it down to the weekly level. Let's say you have a yearly amount here, then the formula is simply the yearly amount divided by 52 to break it down to a weekly level. And then I have the formula for bi-weekly and everything too. So the next thing I'm going to do is go log into my bank account online, and I'm going to see how much I was paid this week and then update that amount here so that it reflects the reality this week. So this week I was paid $2,086.10. Before pressing enter, you'll notice here that the leftover amount is $482. And now when I press enter, it's going to change, because what this spreadsheet does is that it takes the amount that you were paid, it deducts these amounts here, so the total sum of your expenses, and then it gives you the leftover amount that you have. So this week, that means that after everything has been allocated for, then I have $446 left to have fun with. So what I do every week is I either decide, like, you know, do I know that I have an upcoming project that I want to do in the house? Maybe I'll take that money and just put it into the home fund that we already have a sinking fund for. Or if, you know, everything's kind of like maxed out and I feel like going to Indigo and buying books, then I'll keep that money in an account that I call like a leftover spending account, and then I can kind of do what I want with it. The next thing I'm going to do is review my credit card expenses for the last 2 or 3 weeks about. I just like to review that there's no fraudulent activity that's happened and that I'm aware and remember each purchase that was made, and also see if I've gotten any money back from different returns that I've made or something like that. So right now on the screen, what you're seeing is actually the pending amount that hasn't gone through yet. So it's an amount that's not due yet, but I can pay it now if I choose to, and then my available credit and credit limit. So what you don't see at the top is actually what I currently owe, and that is $1,422.21. I'm just not showing that because you can kind of see like the last 4 digits of my credit card, and I just want to keep this as safe as possible. So my transactions, We're pretty heavy yesterday. Yesterday was my grocery day, my day of grocery shopping and shopping with my mom and stuff like that. So I did go to Metro and spent $10.99. I've started going to this new liquidation place where they sell basically like overstock from Costco and different grocery stores and stuff like that. And it's honestly super great. Like, it was $2 for this bag of avocados, and there was like 10 avocados in it. And I was like, okay, that is definitely a steal. And they were not mushy or anything. They were still quite firm. So I picked that up, and I will definitely be making a lot of avocado toast with that. Then I went to Maxi, I went to Bouclair, I got some curtains for our bathroom renovation that you guys have seen in a previous video, so I'll show those soon. Then I went to Marshall's and spent $68, and I unfortunately will have to return that purchase. I got a beautiful, beautiful mirror. It's like gold framed and it's made to look like quite vintage, but obviously I didn't take measurements before going and it doesn't fit. It's a little bit too large. I'm so sad about that though. So I think I'm gonna try to find something on Marketplace instead. Then I went to Walmart. There was some cereal on special as well as deodorant, so I picked that up. And then we had our Bell like internet TV payment come through. Yeah, so that is basically, you know, kind of the transactions from the past couple of days. Actually, I said I was going to review the other ones, but I had reviewed them just a couple of days ago, so I don't need to go through that again. So what I'm going to do is actually make the payment of $1,400 to my credit card. And because of my budget template, I already have that money allocated, which is like fantastic. I don't have to worry about going to get it anywhere, picking from one account and picking from another. It's literally in the account where it's supposed to be. So what happens here is actually, here, I'll show you guys in the other spreadsheet. What happens here is everything that you see here in credit card, I take that amount and I put it in an account just for credit card payments. So like you'll see here, I have my transaction for Bell Canada for $126.47 for my TV and internet. And that is listed here, $126.47. So weekly I take $29.19 and I put it in. You're always barking. So I put it in a account just for everything that's going to pass on my credit card. So now that I actually received that at the end of the month, and I can just take the money and pay it off directly, like it's fantastic. And all of this money here, the leftover, which for this week, which is $446.11, I put it in a leftover savings account. So let's say I decided to splurge on nails. Like if I got my nails done, then I would have paid for that with my credit card. And then I would have had, you know, if it was like $80 to get it done, I would have had the $80 ready to be paid because I would have allocated that $446 into a leftover account. So I really, like, I can always visually see exactly how much money I have, and I know what I can and can't spend on. So I'm never searching for money. I always have a specific amount there ready to go, and the thing is I don't go over budget. Like if I have $1,000 in my leftover account, then I'm limiting myself to $1,000, and it doesn't mean I have to spend that $1,000 either. It just means that if I need to, it's there. And if I decide not to buy anything, then I just don't buy anything. If it accumulates to $3,000, $4,000, then I'll take that money and I'll put it into investments so that I can grow my net worth. So that's kind of how I manage things. Something else I wanted to show you guys is something I think is super important, and I don't see enough people talking about it, but it's tracking your net worth. So all of your assets across different investment accounts or just high yield savings and whatnot, I keep track of them so that I know how much we have every month. I started doing this in June 2023, and it's like not complicated at all. I just kind of take into account all of our different investment accounts. I add them all up. and I subtract what our mortgage payment is, or like debts basically. And our only debt in our case is our mortgage, to see what our true net worth is. But I started this in June 2023 and we had 169,000 in net assets. And then if we go to April 2024, this is where I started tracking the true net worth. So deducting our mortgage payment, or our remaining mortgage amount from our true net worth. So we had 238,000, but because of our mortgage, our true net worth was only 48,000. And then you'll see I just continue that every single month. So tomorrow is going to be March 1st. So I'm going to look at all of my accounts, and actually I could do that now. Yeah, I'll go through everything and then I'll tally up how much we have, and I can update you guys in this video. That'll be fun. So you can see that throughout the months, our net worth has increased a decent amount. And it doesn't always increase by a crazy amount all the time. Sometimes it actually decreases. Like here in November 2024, we had 270,000. It went up to 275 in December, and then it went down to 271 because, you know, Christmas presents, stuff like that, and hosting different parties and whatnot. So it's not always going to go up. You're going to have moments in life where it will be reduced by a decent amount, and sometimes it'll go up because you get a bonus from work or something like that. But I found this super helpful in being able to track our true net worth. So I'll quickly go through a time lapse of grabbing all of our numbers from our different accounts, and then I will update you guys. We're back, and that took a whole probably 2 minutes. So our net worth for March increased by 3,000, nothing crazy, but we're currently invested in a couple of stocks that actually went down a little bit, but to be expected. These things fluctuate and we know that we're in them for the long term, so we don't really freak out when they go down. But yeah, so it increased by $3,000, and our net worth increased, our true net worth increased by about $4,000. So that's also because we're making additional mortgage payments when we can. So we're paying off the principal of our house so that we have to pay, so that we have less interest to pay, basically. Yeah, so I think that that's super important. That's something that you guys should get into checking and really keeping track of. I think it's a very useful and visual tool to help you out with your long-term savings goals. So the final thing that I want to show you guys is a little spreadsheet that I keep to show the extra mortgage payments that we're putting towards our house. So it's, I mean, literally super simple, but I just like keeping track of it this way. I like noting down everything. I'm the type of person who will just write down everything if I can. So basically we started making extra payments towards the principal of our house in January of 2024. And as you can see here, we have the total amount that we have paid extra towards our house. So we started off with making weekly contributions of $275.90. That was the value of our weekly accelerated mortgage before our renewal. Now we're at $340.81, which kind of sucks, but you know, interest rates went up and it is what it is. So with my bank, what the maximum limit is for additional contributions is the amount of your mortgage payment. So what we do when we can is make additional payments. So when we have leftover money that hasn't been spent, then we'll take that and just, you know, go online, log in, and request that an additional payment be made. So you'll see here that we had a large amount of money that we put onto the mortgage in June. And that is basically, there's like a stipulation that you can do 10% of the initial value of your mortgage as a cash down every month, every year. So our initial mortgage was $235,000. So we put $23,000 liquid cash onto our house to bring down the mortgage quicker. And we have the intention of doing that again this summer. So we're hoping to have our mortgage paid off hopefully in the next 2 or 3 years. The initial length of our mortgage, I think, was supposed to be like 22 years, but in reality, we're going to end up paying our house in probably 7 or 8 years, which we're really, really thankful for that we have the possibility of being able to do that, because I know not everybody is in that same situation, and we don't take that for granted at all. Like, we're super, super blessed in that regard. But it's also because we're properly managing our money and we're allocating the correct amount wherever it needs to be every single week, and we're not going over what we're supposed to be spending. So if I tell myself that I'm giving myself a budget of $50 a week for coffee, I'm not going over that $50 a week for coffee. Like, if somebody asks me like, hey, do you want to come out for coffee? No, sorry, I'm already over budget. And it kind of sucks sometimes. Like, you don't want to say no, but you don't always have to say no. When you know where your money's going and it's properly allocated, you can say yes to a lot of things. But sometimes you do have to say no, and you have to say, like, my long-term goals are more important than this one coffee date. But by allocating your money, you can say yes to 90% of the coffee dates with your friends. So it's just like this balance, balance that we all have to find in our lives, and we have to ensure that we're doing the right things for our future. So I wanted to thank you guys for coming along and walking through this budgeting day with me. I think it's super fun, and I think that you guys can also find the joy and fun in it. Finances should be fun. It shouldn't be this taboo thing that we're all afraid to talk about. Money is hard to make. It's even harder to save, but we can find ways to make the hard days and hard times a little bit simpler and just more fun. Saving money doesn't always have to look like spreadsheets. It can look like reusing and repurposing items to make a new item so that you don't have to go to the store and buy something. It could be taking an old egg carton and doing some type of paper mache on it and putting like a cute little print on it and making an egg holder. You can make items and list them for sale. There's so many ways to save money, and they can all be fun. So that's what I'm hoping to show you guys with my channel, is really the fun ways to save your money. So with that, thanks for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next one.